Thanks for joining us today, Allie.
Thank you for having me.
You are Pinups for Vets Miss January. What does pinup culture mean to you?
The way I look at it and why it has a special place in my heart is that deployed soldiers during World War II, the pinup culture and the pinup look was a big morale booster for them to have that look, especially when they were in such austere situations. One of the reasons I loved joining the Air Force so much was that I always really liked the nose art that they had on the different planes. And so looking back on that, that is a big part of Air Force history and culture, and also aviation in general. They had the pinup girls, and they were kind of like their guardian angels, for lack of a better term, that whenever they flew into an environment that they knew very well that they may not be coming back from, they kind of had that sense of morale with them. So that's why it's always been like big to me.
Can you tell us about the organization, what they do, and how you got connected to them?
Oh, absolutely. So Pinups for Vets is a wonderful nonprofit organization that makes calendars within a pinup style, and every single model is a female veteran from across all the U.S. branches of service. And the proceeds from those calendars, the merchandise through Pinups for Vets, all of those proceeds go towards veteran organizations. So they do a lot of outreach with homeless veteran organizations. They do a lot of morale visits with veterans that are in hospice or veterans that are in VA hospitals. And they also donate money to VA hospitals so they can buy critical equipment to treat veterans in their various ailments while they're in the hospital.
You were in the Air Force for 17 years. What did you do in the Air Force?
So I was an analyst, primarily supporting combat search and rescue and personnel recovery missions while I was active duty. And after 9 years of active duty service, I went into the Air Force Reserves, where I continued to be an analyst until I separated in 2020.
So a lot of times some people might stereotype females in the military, right, as maybe not being girly or pinup-like per se. How do you balance that stereotype and being this pinup that you are today?
I've always really loved the look, and to break that stereotype, less than 1% of the US population enlists or becomes a military member, and an even smaller sliver of that are women. So there is a lot of misconceptions and there is a lot of stereotypes about the type of woman who would enlist in the military or become an officer, but I can assure you from across the board, there are so many different women and of different creed, races, ethnicity, who all come together to serve their country. And there are women who are as feminine or even more feminine than me, but they are all just wonderful Americans and tough as nails.
What sort of reaction are you getting, maybe specifically from other veterans, of you being in this calendar?
Oh, overwhelmingly supportive. What my ultimate goal is to kind of provide outreach and support to female veterans from across the board. Things like medical care, especially obstetrics and OBGYN care within VA hospitals, because we are such a small contingent of the US military writ large. And to kind of share our own stories. And a lot of times there is this stereotype that it's an incredibly downtrodden type of environment, but the majority of female veterans that I've met, it's like, we are so proud of our service and we love talking about it. I had an absolutely wonderful time serving my country. It's the greatest thing I've ever done with my life.
Well, we look forward to getting our own calendar, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.